Also, one thing I liked about your approach is you are very considerate on the economic effects, because
Yes.
a lot of times what happens is a lot of activists, they talk about the issues in the environment or other issues, but they forget to take into consideration the economic or financial constraints. As much as we don't like that, I mean, that's how the world operates, and it's very fundamental. So when we're talking about removing lead from paint, when we're talking about removing lead from petrol and other stuff, I mean, does it make financial sense? How does it make financial?
I'll give you one example.
Yeah.
Let me take paint.
Mm-hmm.
If the paint had high lead level, that would have gone into our children's body.
Yeah.
It would have increased the um, problems related to lead in the child. It would have decreased IQ.
Mm.
On long run, the child's productivity comes down. National productivity comes down.
Yep.
By investing some money, by charging little more money to the paint without lead, maybe 10%, 15%, it's an investment. Then IQ of the child is protected. The child become productivity. By investing 1,000 rupees today, we can save 10,000 rupees tomorrow. Economics is you are not, creating a scenario where there will be a damage, but we are creating a scenario by investing money to prevent damage. On long run, it helps any country. A country like this small country can do this much better than a bigger country like India because it's one decision. And it is the awareness can be created because population is small, but in India population is large. Creating awareness itself is a big challenge. Here there are greater opportunities to in this one pencil, unpainted pencil, is much more easier to introduce in this country, which on long run increases the economy of the country. You don't use paint to paint the pencil. Money is saved. IQ is preserved. Money is saved. Productivity increases. Money is earned.
So the Maggie thing did wonders for awareness, right? How did they come out of it?
They got convinced. There's a court case. Then
Okay.
there was hue and cry.
Mm-hmm.
Then they looked into various other means of protecting. First, they said the water we are using from the soil is having lead. That this. I said you have filters. You have to remove lead because tomorrow your market has to sustain. You have to increase your production. You have to. Then they. Probably they are intellectuals there. They're all intellectuals, not that they intentionally they do not want to
Yeah.
harm anybody.
No.
There was a risk using that. But probably they must have realized and they have introduced that. I'm happy with Nestle for their timely action.
So when we're talking, the other thing that's been going around is like a lot of people are very concerned about heavy metal contamination as well,
Yes,
not just lead
yes.
in general. I mean, in terms of food, in terms of medicine, or other stuff. So when we're talking about heavy metal contamination, what are we generally talking about? What are
We
the
are
side effects?
talking about heavy metals
Yeah.
or the metals which has no biological function in our body. It may be arsenic. It may be lead. It may be mercury. It may be cadmium. These are all heavy metals. Arsenic is not a metal actually. When we are talking about these metals, we are getting these metals through food chain. Pesticides, insecticides contain this. Cadmium is very high in some of the pesticides. Now, if this continues, it will damage our system. It is 100% preventable. Therefore, we have now technology called X-ray fluorescence with which we can measure more than 35 metals in any substance. And we have been measuring in soil, in some of the spices, particularly when you look at spices from India, Nepal, Bangladesh, Malaysia. We have cardamom, pepper, dalchini, and some of these things. And they are all found having a high amount of lead. And other countries are refusing. They are banning. When they ban import of what we export, who is at loss? We are at loss. We produce tons and thousands, several tons of turmeric. If it is not used, it rots and it goes waste. It should generate money. Therefore, we have to be cautious, careful. It should be safe, certified. Therefore, today we have certification of food to ensure it is not contaminated with heavy metals.
So how does this certification of food work? I mean, does it apply to every
the
food in the
FSSI,
market? Okay, so
Food safety, yeah, that is there.
so the food or the company that's getting the
They have to have a
FSSI
certificate. It will be tested in
certification.
an accredited laboratory.
So these are safer when it comes to heavy metals.
Yes,
They're
yes.
tested by a batch per batch basis.
Batch-wise.
Okay.
Batch-wise. Every batch should have a certificate. Batch to batch, there's a variation in the thing. And now people, you see, for example, you have ag mark for fat. You have hallmark for gold. You have some food mark, safety marks for some of the spices. And when outside agency like UAE, so if they want to import from India, they will ask for the certificate. They will also do testing in their lab. And if there's lead, cadmium, mercury, they will reject. And who is the loser? We are the loser. But if we provide clean food, they will accept. It will improve the economy of our country. Isn't it?
Do you think these certifications should apply to all the foods that are available in the market?
Of course. All packaged food, processed food should be certified.
What do you think about the state of Nepal? I mean, like the certification and the food quality.
See, Nepal need not invent wheel. It's already there in neighboring countries. They have to just get people trained, establish food testing. There is already food testing lab. They are testing for some of these things. I'm sure Nepal must be having a good system here because India is not far from them, and people from India are also working here. And Nepal is importing tourism, but now they should export food also to improve the economy. I think they should look into all these details,
Talking generally, I mean, we talked about how lead particularly can affect your IQ, right? And there's so many data or word going around that the average IQ has been decreasing over several period of years. What other factors could it be?
With reference to lead.
No, I mean, like apart from lead, what?
Other toxic substances.
Yeah.
See, anything unwanted causes burden. Anything which we don't use and still keep with us is a burden. The burden means unnecessary expenditure. Burden means several problems. Now, we call it as lead burden, mercury burden, cadmium burden, means when the level is beyond certain level. What to do? We have to remove them. Means we have to chelate them, give medicine. Means there's an expense. There's an unnecessary, unwanted expenditure incurred. If at the same time, productivity is also damaged, hampered, the best thing is avoid, prevent at the source itself. If the source is plugged, I think it will improve the economy of any country as far as heavy metal toxicity is concerned. There's nothing new, nothing, no much research needed. What is needed is action. Act locally, adopt globally. In our society, in our community, we can, as a small population, successfully employ. For example, in India, we have 797 district hospitals. Each district hospital can collect data on biomonitoring of toxic substances like heavy metals or pesticide, insecticide. That data is enough to take care of the population in that district. If that can be done all over the country, the whole country is safe. Similarly, similar thing can be planned in Nepal. 75 districts are there. In each district, authorities are given responsibility. Monitor how much pesticide this district is procuring, how much you are using, what is the soil content, soil lead content, soil mercury content, cadmium content. Chelate, very easy to chelate, mitigate. Carbon can be powdered, charcoal can be powdered, spread mixed with the soil. It will absorb the toxic metals. There are ways, otherwise you may have to adopt very expensive chelation. You have to give medicines which are very expensive. To remove lead from the blood, there's a medicine called Kimet. It is a desmercaptosuccinic acid, a DMSA. Its cost is $3,000 US. Very expensive. How many people can afford to do that? It is problem. Every problem has a solution. If there's a problem without solution, it's no longer a problem. We should not get disturbed by problem. We should look at the solution. I and you may not have solution. Let us go to somebody and get the solution. Solution is there. But there should be willingness. Political will is very much required to tackle these problems. What is this political will? The political will is they should be willing to take advice from experts like you and me. They should take an advice, adopt it in their own interest. If one political party can bring a better environmental condition, they will continue in any country. Everybody loves to have them. It is not just the money which makes the political parties to continue. It is their work.